Hey guys, it's Shelby, otherwise known as Shelbizleee here on YouTube, and today I wanted to talk about something that I think is really important and I think a lot of you guys will agree with, and if you don't, as always, leave it in the comment section. But today I wanted to tell you why I will be gradually starting to move away from the zero waste movement. I have a few videos actually that I made just before this whole situation started, but if you guys don't follow Sustainably Vegan on Instagram or here on YouTube, you really should. Of course, I've collabed with her before and I love all of the stuff that she does, and her dedication to this is amazing. But the reason I'm bringing her up is she is initiating this movement away from zero waste, and the reason that I think this is a good thing and I want to talk to you guys about it is because I've actually had a problem with zero waste, and like I said, I started to make other videos talking about my issues with zero waste because I feel like the movement focuses so much on one thing, and that is reducing your solid waste. I have two problems with that mostly. Number one is that a lot of the things that you are consuming and that you are buying and packaging and creating waste for and all these sort of things is not your fault. It's what you have available to you in your grocery store, wherever you're buying things from. It's how you're able to obtain things that you need and or want in your life. And I get so many comments from you guys telling me like, I can't get this without packaging, or I can't get that without packaging. I've had people message me saying that they're makeup artists and they feel so bad because things that they have to buy for work create so much waste. And people who email me and say, my work does XYZ, how can I change it? And a lot of those things, you guys, truthfully, are just completely out of your control. And I feel so bad that you have ever had to feel bad because you couldn't make a better decision, because to be honest, the infrastructure from the companies is not set up for you to make those decisions. And if you didn't already know that, that's why I wanted to explain that the term zero waste actually originated in industry. It was meant for industry to create products without creating huge amounts of waste. It was supposed to be a zero waste like supply chain. But a lot of influencers have adopted this lifestyle and kind of turned it into trying to create zero waste within your own life, which, to be honest, you'll see in several videos I have coming up, is literally impossible. I don't think anyone is zero waste. Even the biggest influencers out there telling you they're creating zero waste and they only have this one jar from the last like 7 years, I call bullshit. Because truth is, you go out to restaurants, if you're normal, I mean, or if, sorry, I don't mean to say normal, but like most people go out and a lot of things are out of your control. Like I went out literally last weekend and I didn't ask for a straw, and when they handed me my drink at the bar, there was a straw in it. There are just things that you can't avoid, and to be honest, that's not all your fault. And I don't want people to come to this movement and this lifestyle and feel like it's their fault, or like that they can't do everything, then they can't do it. And just the term itself of zero waste makes it seem so perfectionist that I think it scares a lot of people away. And I've always taken issue with that from the beginning, and I've been very transparent with you guys in telling you that I am not completely zero waste. I make tip and tricks videos like for specific areas of your life to be zero waste, like your shower routine or your toothbrushing routine or how to shop more zero waste. Sorry about that, guys. I had to move because my neighbor's dog is a pest. But anyway, so that's my first problem with the zero waste movement, is how much perfectionism is built into it, just in the nature of trying to live that lifestyle, that it scares people away, and that most of the things that happen where you create waste are not your fault. The second problem I have with it is I feel like there are so many other there are so many other environmental issues that get overlooked because we're focusing so much on solid waste. So solid waste is a problem, of course. If things are ending up in our landfills, there are issues with that. There are issues with things ending up in our waterways, and so our fish and our aquatic life, things like that, end up getting sick because of what they're eating. Of course there are issues with that. But do you know what's a bigger issue? None of those things will exist if we have climate change. Like if the climate changes so much to where a lot of these things go extinct, if the honeybee, for Christ's sake, goes extinct, we're in trouble. And these animals are used to living in certain conditions, and if we don't do something about climate change, there's going to be even bigger issues that we need to worry about other than the solid waste that we produce. And you may have noticed last month I tried to make a series on my channel where I talked about how much water we consume, and specifically how much water I consume. Those videos do not get nearly the amount of attention because it's not a sexy topic. It's not sexy to talk about that, obviously. But these are issues that are really, really important. Things that are vital to our life. Things like our climate and our water. And I feel like people get so engulfed in zero waste that all those things get overlooked. Even if you implement those things into your life as a zero waster, most influencers don't talk about them. Sustainably Vegan made a really good point in her video where she talked about zero waste influencers don't talk about the social injustices that happen enough in the zero waste movement and in general. So that's something that I have a problem with when we talk about zero waste. We don't focus on anything else, and that's just because it's tangible, it's in your face, and you can see the waste you're creating. So in ways I get it, but there are so many more important topics we need to talk about. So Sustainably Vegan is leading this movement, which I'm so proud of her for. I think it's amazing and I'm completely on board. I wanted to make this video in support of her and say if you're not subscribed to her, you need to be. She's going to be starting something called the Low Impact Movement, which definitely everyone's going to interpret differently, and she's left it open for interpretation largely. And I'm interpreting that to mean that we can talk about all those issues that I just mentioned that don't get talked about nearly enough. And I think that is amazing. So hopefully the clickbaity title didn't bother you too much. You stuck around to this part. I also wanted to mention that I'm not going to stop using the term zero waste, putting it in my titles and things like that. Maybe eventually, but right now people identify with what zero waste is, and people who are looking to make those changes, that's what they can see, that's what they know to look for. So I'm going to continue using it for now in my titles and in my tips and things like that. But yeah, I just wanted to show my support for this and say that I'm not zero waste. Nobody is zero waste. Don't feel guilty for things that you do at work or hobbies that you might have or things that you can't avoid if you don't have a bulk shop, etc. It's mostly out of your control, and I find it very admirable that in light of all of those challenges that you may face, you still reach out to me and ask me, how can I fix this and how can I fix that? But a lot of it is not up to you. A lot of it is honestly up to the corporations to take responsibility for the things that they create. So I hope you're on board for this new movement. I feel like there were some other things I wanted to say. I left my notebook at work. I was making notes at work after Sustainably Vegan came out with her video, and then I left that notebook, so I don't want to forget to say anything. But I think those are my main points. I wanted to address it because she's addressing it, and I also wanted to say to you guys, get away from perfectionism, stop blaming yourselves, and don't just give up because you can't do everything. Because every little thing you do matters. If there's some things you can't do, don't let that be the reason you get down and give up, right? Okay guys, well that's all I have for you today, so remember, until next time, create the peace.